Thank you. I wanted Bart to see this because if he sees this, I was John Hawk when I started as a tag team champion with Black Bart back down in Texas, and I wanted to see it because he goes, hey, damn, John Hawk's still in my gimmick. So please take pictures and send this to Bart. You know, Bart, if anybody who stands here because of people that made a difference in their life, and Black Bart was one of the ones that made a difference in mine, both professionally and personally. Bart and I were really good friends. We are really good friends. We talked all the time. Bart loved me, and I know he loved me because when I walked in the sportatorium, and for those of you that know Black Bart, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Bart would sit in the corner of the dressing room with a big trash can between his legs. His glasses always come down his nose. He used a long arms and puts those glasses up like that, and he'd hear that cowbell, and he'd say, I hate the sound of that damn cowbell because that long, tall drink of shit Johnny Hawk's with it. So I know Bart loved me. You know, a lot of guys talk about great trainers in this business. You talk about Farmer Burns, you talk about Carl Gotch, you talk about Hero Matsuda, Billy Robinson, Hero Brad Rogers, you talk about the days today, Tom Pritchard, you talk about Fit Finley. Bart's one of those guys that finished guys in the ring. He was one of those guys that Dusty Rhodes sent Dustin to. He's one of those guys that Blackjack sent Barry to. He got me and Dunkel. And Bart cussed me and Bobby Ford if he's going to find a patch of green grass and teach me a lesson one of these days. Thank goodness he never did. But Bart, a few months ago, about a few years ago, excuse me, gave me a call and told me that he had cancer. You got to understand our sense of humor. I said, well, what kind of cancer, Bart? And he said, colon cancer. I said, as big as your ass is, I was like a giraffe with strep throat. He said, Johnny Hawk, when I get on this chemo, I'm going to find a patch of green grass and I'm going to teach you a lesson. So I said, Bart, let's raise some money for you. And guys pitched in. Guys right away pitched in. And Cauliflower Alley Club, to their credit, right away called me, Brian Blair did, and said, what can we do to help Bart? Bart had insurance, but it was costing about $600 per chemo session. Cauliflower Alley stepped up. We stepped up. A lot of guys that knew Bart stepped up. And I said, let's do something online. He said, what do you want to do? I said, how about an OnlyFans page? And he said, what? I said, OnlyFans page. It's like plus size wrestlers, sell old pictures, old wrist ads. We'll get a ton of money off that. We thought maybe that's not a good idea. So we set up a GoFundMe page. And Bart called me one day and he goes, don't let that go live. And I said, why not? And he said, I don't know if people remember Black Bart. And he said, I just don't know if I can take it if nobody gives any money. And of course, we had arranged it where people were going to get money. We had, names and stuff. And we rigged the thing to make sure, but we didn't have to. Once Bart put it out, and his granddaughter was running it, people came from everywhere to get Bart money. And here's a guy that can cut the greatest promos ever. We used to cut promos. You guys remember back in the day, he cut the promos for all the towns. He'd say, yeah, Bonner boys at Ford, give me 2 minutes. You guys can't kill her in the sport for me a minute and a half. And Bart would just cut promo after promo. I just would sit there and just marvel about how he could put sentences together and make sense and rant and all somehow wrap it up right there at the end of the time frame. And he called me, he said, Johnny, he said, I don't have words. He said, I cannot believe that people did this for Black Bart. Bart is a very religious man. And he believes that the day his heart stops, that God's going to bring him home. But Bart has told me, he said, I'm going to fight. He said, I'm going to fight hard. There are times I call Bart and I talk to him and he's just always the same. And there are times I call him and he goes, Johnny, I can't talk today. My chemo's killing me. And he goes, thank you. I love you. Will you call me later? And of course I always do. Bart has a long road ahead of him, but he's going to fight. And he's going to fight like only Black Bart can. There's not a guy in the industry I've seen that has had as much influence of everybody has a Black Bart story. And they're all good stories. And Bart has this incredible legacy. This award meant the world to Bart. He wanted to be here so bad, but his chemo got further, and I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but Bart's going to be Bart. And I'm proud that a guy that I love here has gotten this award. He's my big brother, and I want to thank you guys for honoring a good friend of mine and a good